And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, and yes, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Looks like there's some good stuff on here today. We've got National Melba Toast Day. How did that get in with the good stuff? I don't know about you, but I've had Melba Toast. I wouldn't ever consider that good. No. Well, I guess it depends on what you put on it. Let's see. We've got National Puppy Day. That one we like. That's a good one. Chia Day. I thought chia, isn't that thing they put on the they grow around the holiday times? Used to be something that Thrifty advertised every year. The Chia Pet. You remember that? My older, does anybody else remember that Chia Pet that they used to talk about all the time? But I guess it's also a powerful chia seed. That's nutrient-rich foods on the planet. One of the most nutrient-rich. Revered by Maya and Aztecs for their amazing healing powers and natural energy. Chia seeds have become a trusted staple for people around the world and can be enjoyed in many foods and beverages. Okay. I guess as they put it,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. National Tamale Day. I like the sweet ones. Do you like tamales? And I think we're going to go with save the best for last. National Chip and Dip Day. Yeah, give me a little Doritos with sour cream and onion, or Ruffles with sour cream and onion dip. Chip and Dip Day is today. Let's see what the markets are doing. It's been a wild ride already this morning. So we are looking. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 810 points. The NASDAQ is up 352. The S&P 500 is up 100. And oil is down $7.69 a barrel. Yahoo! Yeah, we like to see that. All because of, apparently, there are talks going on with Iran that might save them a little bit. Now, it's kind of funny when you listen to any of these dictator countries. You listen to Iran, you listen to China, you listen to Russia. And they're all experts in misinformation. So they come out and say, "Oh no, we're not. There's nothing going on here. There's no, there's no talks going on, and they're winning the war." Let's see. When you look at the satellite images, it doesn't look like they're winning so much, but that's what they have to tell their own people. Now, who are they talking to when they issue these conversations? Well, they've turned off the internet in Iran to anybody but, the select few that they want to have it. Who would that be? Well, that would be their national military, the national IRG, right? The Iranian Revolutionary Guard. So that's the only ones that are getting these messages in Iran. I'm going to say watch. Let's see what happens on it. Hopefully, it's coming to an end. If we see oil prices, gas prices dropping this dramatically, nice to see that down $7.54 a barrel. It was down more earlier in the session. It was down in the 80s, but we'll see what happens. And I love listening to some of when I go on my social channels and you share certain comments about what's going on. Now, I don't get most of my information from any of the cable news or mainstream news just because I don't believe them. Right? You get it from, if you want to hear the conservative side, go to Fox News. If you want to hear the liberal and progressive, go everywhere else, every other station. And all they're doing is telling you exactly what you want to hear. So I shared that during the Biden administration, when oil was at over $100 a barrel, and no one made any comments about it. Fascinating how there were no comments at that time. Yet now when we see oil in the 90s, you got all these comments. And one of the great comments I got was that, Biden, during the Biden administration, it was because of the war in Ukraine. Now, did the war in Ukraine end when Donald Trump took office? I don't think so. It seems to me like that war is still going on. We don't hear as much of it in the news right now, but that war is still going on. Yet we've been watching that, and the oil prices came down. So how could it be that? How could that be the issue that caused the prices? That it was Ukraine that did it? Well, but then you hear the other side of it, right? So that this is all because of Trump's war. So it just doesn't make any sense. But that's what we come to expect from some the liberals out there that have an excuse for everything, right? Brent, 2022 Brent oil, $139 a barrel today. WTI is, I told you, it's at $90.92 a barrel. And that's where I got some of these crazy comments from people that made sense. Now, there is one gentleman that I have fun with. He is ultra liberal. We can respectfully disagree on most everything. But his comment was, difference is oil prices went up due to a war started by Putin. Putin was to blame. Does that mean Putin is the beneficiary, or who's the cause for the prices to go back down? I don't know, Chris. You tell me. This time oil prices went up due to a war started by Trump. Trump made the decision. You got to always love these comments, but I get them from everybody, so I just take them with a grain of salt. What's happening? And again, if you want great information, I'm going to tell you, you have to go and pay for it. You can't get it from any of the media. They're none of them, in my opinion, are really worth a whole heck of a lot. You got to go out and get your own. Where do I go? So I don't get paid for any of these things to tell you this. I like listening to Mike Baker, former CIA operator, and he does a podcast twice a day and an extended version on Saturdays. Great information. Dan Senor, call me back, get some really, really good information. And yes, I have been a concierge member of BillO'Reilly.com since he started that, or close to. So I get great information there as well. And again, you have to pay for the information you want. If you want to get the mainstream media, you can get that very easily. And all it is a bunch of soundboards. And I think it's pretty much worthless. But as they say, it is what it is. And
it is what it is.
You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, the remodel you've been dreaming about may be closer than you think. Tax refund credit strategy most financial advisors never talk about. Your kids don't have to wait for you to die. Ooh, that's a morbid one. And a $300 policy could protect $1 million in assets. Most people don't have it. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few. at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual lock rates, with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put in your mortgage calculator to determine your principal and interest payments. Let's see what rates did on Friday. This is a national average, though, so it's not an offer to you. It's not today's rates. But 30-year conforming up 6.356, 15-year conforming. Oh, we don't want that one. The jumbo 30-year fixed, 6.597. That one was up. FHA 30-year fixed, 6.164. That one was up. VA 30-year fixed, 5.999. And the 30-year USDA, 6.033. Everything was up on Friday. It was a very, very ugly day in the markets on Friday. If you want our thoughts about the market each and every business day morning, as early as the data allows, you can go to the Ron Siegel Radio community and you can get that information, rsrlinks.com/HBOD, rsrlinks.com/HBOD. That will give you our thoughts about the market each and every business day morning. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Well, let's see where they are right here. We got to get back over to another screen. So we've got the S&P 500 is now up 87.28. Oil's down $7.05 per barrel. The 10-year Treasury, let's see, that one is down 1 basis point, 4.37. So that's retreating a little bit. And we've got the mortgage bond is up 14 basis points. Remember, when that bond goes up, rates go down. We like to see the bond going up. Let's see what's driving all of this. And it's real simple. It all has to do with a message coming out of the president this morning. Said the U.S. has had talks with Iranian leaders that were productive and could lead to a total resolution this week. Over the weekend, President Trump threatened to attack Iranian power plants if they did not open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours, which would be the night of March 23rd. As a result of the U.S. threats, the Iranian parliament speaker said they would strike purchasers and holders of U.S. treasuries, citing that they are soaked in Iranians' blood and funding the U.S. war in Iran. This morning, President Trump said that Iran wants to do a deal badly and that conversations were productive. He has postponed all attacks on Iran for the next 5 days, so long as talks remain constructive. There was an unnamed senior official who told Iranian news outlets that no talks had happened between the U.S. and Iran, which Reuters reported on, saying that the U.S. backed down because Iran said they would broaden their attacks. Do you believe Reuters? I don't believe anything that comes out of most of these guys.
You know better than that.
Yeah. President Trump spoke directly to Joe Kernan on CNBC, not on CNBC, but Joe Kernan of CNBC and Maria Bartiromo this morning. She's on Fox Business, confirming that the talks happened as recently as late last night between Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff and their Iranian counterparts. As a result of the optimism that the war with Iran may be ending soon, oil prices have improved and the 10-year yields are lower. Not going to get a whole lot of news this week. It's very, very quiet. ADP weekly report comes out tomorrow. Mortgage apps are on Wednesday. Jobless claims are on Thursday. None of those are really that big of market movers. So I will tell you that I wouldn't expect a whole heck of a lot coming out of any of those things. But that is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. You worked your whole life building something, a home, same savings, a plan for your family. But here's a question worth thinking about. What if your kids need that help right now, not 20 years from now? I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Today, I want to talk about something that's happening more and more across the country, and I'm seeing it right here in Southern California. And ironically enough, I've consulted with a few families just recently on doing some of these things. Parents are choosing to give their children part of their inheritance early, not because they have to, because they want to, and because it actually makes a lot of sense for the whole family. Here's why this matters to you, whether you're the parent or the adult child in this picture. We are in the middle of the largest transfer of wealth in American history. Financial researchers estimate that somewhere north of $80 trillion is expected to pass from older generations to younger ones by 2045. That's a number so big, it almost doesn't register. But what it means practically is this. Families all across the country are sitting on significant assets, mostly in their home equity, and they're starting to ask a different question. Instead of, how do I pass this on when I'm gone? They're asking, how do I help my kids right now while I can see them use it? And here in California, that question hits especially close to home, literally. We have some of the most expensive real estate in the country. A young couple trying to buy their first home in Orange County is looking at a down payment that might take them a decade to save on their own. A son or daughter buried in the student loans is watching their financial life get pushed back 5, 10 years before it even really starts. Parents see this, and more of them are stepping in. Now, there are a few things going on that are making this easier and smarter to do than ever before. First, the tax laws have actually shifted in a way that helps families. As of 2026, the federal estate tax exemption is $15 million per individual. For a married couple, that's $30 million you can pass to your heirs without federal estate taxes, and the annual gift tax exclusion went up to $19,000 per recipient. So a mom and dad could give $19,000 each to a son and $19,000 each to a daughter-in-law this year alone, and not $1 of that triggers a gift tax return. That's real money, and it's an opportunity a lot of families don't even know they have. Second, and this is where my world comes in, home equity is often the biggest asset in a family's financial picture. I talk with homeowners all the time who have done a great job building equity in their property, but they've never really thought about what role that equity could play in their family's overall financial picture right now. Not after they're gone, right now. So what does this mean for you? Well, it depends on your situation. I'm not an estate planning attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. I want to really be clear about that. What I am is someone who has been in this industry since 1983, who understands how to look at a household's full financial picture and help them think through what the right strategy looks like. And part of that strategy involves connecting families with the right professionals who can help them with the estate planning side of things. If you want to explore the estate planning conversation, I have trusted partners who are going to walk you through that. Go to rsrlinks.com/estate. rsrlinks.com/estate. I'll connect you with people I trust to have that conversation right away. Now, let me bring this back to something I talk about a lot on this show because it ties directly into this topic. Your home equity is not just a number on a piece of paper, it's a tool. And tools are meant to be used. Too many homeowners treat their equity like it's locked in a vault, and the only time they get to open it is when they sell the house or when they pass away. But what if there was a way to put that equity to work right now for your family while protecting your own financial security at the same time? That's not a hypothetical. There are real strategies that allow families to access their home equity thoughtfully in a way that supports their retirement, supports their kids, and doesn't leave them exposed if something unexpected comes up. Remember, people are living longer. Retirement can last 30 years. You have to balance generosity with security, and you have to plan for both. To understand how your home equity fits into that bigger picture, go to rsrlinks.com/homewealth. That's rsrlinks.com/homewealth. It'll give you a starting point for that conversation. Here's what I want you to take away from today. Estate planning is not just for wealthy families. It's not something you do once in your 60s and forget about. It's a living strategy that should involve your family, your home, your mortgage, and a team of professionals who all understand how the pieces fit together. If your mortgage advisor isn't talking to you, your estate planning attorney, and your estate planning attorney doesn't know what your home equity looks like, you may have some gaps in your plan that nobody's noticed yet. My job is to help you see the whole picture, and that starts with a conversation. Go to rsrlinks.com/estate, rsrlinks.com/estate, and rsrlinks.com/homewealth, rsrlinks.com/homewealth, to start understanding your home equity, or just give us a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. That is the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. Let's see. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the remodel you've been dreaming about may be closer than you think. The tax refund credit strategy most financials never talk about. And a $300 policy could protect $1 million in assets. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. The remodel you've been dreaming about may be closer than you think. That kitchen you've been mentally redesigning, the bathroom that really needs a refresh, or the outdoor space you keep saying you'll get to someday. What if you already have what you need to finally make it happen? Because a growing number of homeowners are realizing just that. Homeowners are expected to spend over $522 billion on some home improvements by the end of 2026. And they're not draining their savings accounts to get it done. Many are using home equity. And if you've owned your home for 10 plus years, there's a chance you could use your equity to fund some home upgrades too. Let's break down what you need to know first. What is equity, and how does it help? Equity is the difference between what your house is worth and what you owe on your mortgage. According to Cotality, the average homeowner has about $313,000 worth of equity today. That's more than enough to finally knock some projects off your list. And more people are realizing they can use that to give their home a little TLC. Research coming out of Meridian Link says home improvements are the top thing people are using their home equity for today. Top motivations for home equity-based borrowing: funding home improvements, 45%. Using it to pay down other debts and debt consolidation, 16%. Investing in other properties, 16%. Maybe it makes sense for you to do the same, but here's what's important. Just because you can use your equity doesn't mean you have to. It also doesn't mean every project makes sense. What projects are actually worth it? If you're going to go this route, you'll want to focus on upgrades that actually pay off. A good renovation should be something that improves the value of your home, because even if you're not planning to sell it, you want to make sure you're setting yourself up for success when you do. Add an agent is the best resource as you weigh your options. They know what other homeowners are doing and what buyers in your area like. And that can be really helpful as you narrow down your project list. As the National Association of Realtors, NAR, puts it, quote, being able to help sellers prioritize home improvements and maximize their net on the sale is a key value real estate agents offer, unquote. Here's a quick rundown of the projects with the best potential to recoup your costs according to NAR. While it's a good starting point, just remember it can't match the expertise of an agent. So let's see if I can make this large enough that even my old eyes, I can read it. So let's see here. Remodeling projects with the best return on investment, ROI. That's what we like. Come on now. New steel front door. Get all your money back on that one. Closet renovation, 83%. New fiberglass front door, 80%. New vinyl windows, 74%. New wood windows, 71%. Basement conversion to living area, 71%. This is all according to the National Association of Realtors. I can send you the chart if you want it. Just let me know. As you can see, there's a wide range of products on the list. Yes, some are bigger ticket items like kitchens or baths, but others are smaller updates with surprisingly strong return on investment ROI. A new front door is a great project, but it's something to use your equity for. But revamping your kitchen, that's where your equity can come in and lighten the load. Where to go from here, whether the project you've been thinking about is on the list or not, chat with an agent to make sure it's worth the time, money, and effort before calling in any contractors, because the goal isn't to do everything. It's to invest where it counts. And if you want to use your equity to get one of the bigger projects done, meet with a financial advisor today, because you'll want to make sure you'll maintain a good loan-to-value threshold even after using your equity. That way, you have all the information you need to make the decision. That's where we come in. We can show you all those numbers. We can put them on spreadsheets and give you an idea what it's going to look like, because maybe you want to stay in your house for the next 10 or 15 years, and maybe you want to use some of that equity to make sure that your house is exactly what you want so you continue to enjoy it. Bottom line, whether you're selling next year or just giving your house some TLC, the right home improvement today can set you up for success tomorrow. And the best part, your equity may be the key to making it happen. What's one upgrade you've been thinking about and wondering if it's worth it? Give me a call. Put that in the chat. Let's have a quick conversation about whether it's the right time or right decision for you and your home. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And I will share with you, because I've been doing quite a number of these lately, is we've been talking to people about a quick and simple home equity line of credit. And again, I say quick and simple, because basically it'll take me about, 2 or 3 minute conversation with you. We put the numbers into the system, and it says, here's an offer for you. And the way we do it, you're not going to get spammed by a whole bunch of messages. Then you've got to go in and upload just a few details. They look at the equity according to an automated valuation model, and you've got your loan in a week to 2 weeks. It's that simple. So again, you have to qualify. So I'm not promising that you're going to qualify, but yeah, you do have to qualify. They do a soft credit pull for you. They can see what your credit looks like, what your liabilities look like. But again, we're going to put a lot of this information into the system with you. And like I said, a week to 2 weeks, you're funded. Now, what I highly recommend at that point is go and do the remodels that you're talking about. And then let's reconvene and see, because the interest rate on this is maybe 1% higher than what a traditional home equity line would be, that takes all the paperwork, all the extra work and effort and everything else. But when you're talking about $100,000 as far as a line of credit, and I'm just throwing out a number, I think the difference is maybe $50 or $60 a month for you not to have to do any of that work. But remember, this is my mantra all the time. And if you listen to Ron Siegel Radio, you've seen me, you've heard me. Strategy beats rate always. What's the strategy? Get the quick and easy home equity line of credit. Then we do a restructure 6 to 12 months down the road, and we restructure your first into a new first, including the new work you've just done and the value of the property, and get you a new rebalanced new loan. So remember, strategy beats rate always. It never ceases to fail how many times people forget that part of it. But I can only tell you so many times. So let's see. What do we have? What do we have next on our docket? Borrow Smart segment today, being brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. A few $100s a year could be the difference between keeping everything you have built and watching a lawsuit take it away. That is not a scare tactic. That is just the math. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Today, we're talking about something that does not get nearly enough attention in the financial conversations. Umbrella liability insurance. Most people never heard of it. A lot of people who have heard of it think it's only for the very wealthy, and they are wrong on both counts. And by the end of today's program or conversation, you're going to understand exactly why. Let me start with a number. There are currently nearly 22 million millionaires in the United States now. Now, here's the thing about building wealth. As your net worth grows, so does your exposure. People with assets are more likely to be sued. And you not even have to actually be wealthy. If someone perceives you as having money, that is often enough to make you a target. Personal injury claims can run into the millions, and the standard insurance policies most people carry, your auto insurance, homeowners insurance, have limits. When a claim goes above those limits, you're on your own. So what does that look like in real life? Here's a scenario worth thinking through. Imagine your teenage son borrows the car and gets in a serious accident. The other driver is badly hurt. A lawsuit files. The judgment comes in at $1 million. Your auto insurance has a $500,000 liability limit. It covers half. What about the other $500,000? Without umbrella coverage, that comes out of your pocket. And out of your pocket is not abstract. That could mean liquidating investment accounts. It could mean losing the equity in your home. In some cases, it could mean wage garnishment. Everything you have spent years building, gone because of one afternoon and one accident. Now, here's the part that most people don't know. Umbrella liability insurance is not expensive. It is usually sold in increments of $1 million and typically costs just a few $100s a year. A few $100s. For $1 million or more in additional coverage, that sits on top of everything else you already have, and it covers a lot more than your car accidents. We are talking about bodily injuries, property damage caused by you or anyone in your household, and it goes further than that. Libel, slander, false arrest, defamation of character. If you ever give an interview that gets published, if you are active on social media, if your business has any kind of public presence, there are real exposures that most people never think about until something goes wrong. So, who should be looking at this kind of coverage? The short answer is almost anyone who is carefully building a financial picture. But there are some limitations where it becomes especially important. If you have teenage drivers at home, if you own a dog, particularly a large or more aggressive breed, if you entertain frequently and serve alcohol to guests, if you operate any kind of business out of your home, if you own a boat, jet skis, motorcycles, or a snowmobile, if you live in a way that suggests financial success, even if you are still working toward it. Here's the line I want you to remember from today. You do not have to be a millionaire to be sued for $1 million. Think about that for a second. Anyone who is building something, a home, a retirement account, a business, a family has something worth protecting. And umbrella coverage is one of the least expensive ways to put a wall between you, what you have built, and the things you cannot protect. Now, I want to be clear about something. I am not an insurance agent. That is not my lane. My lane is helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. And part of that conversation is always about safety. Safety is the first leg of the framework. Safety before liquidity, liquidity before return. If you're exposed to a liability that could wipe out your assets, none of the other work we do together matters. So if you have never had a conversation about umbrella coverage, or if you're not sure what you currently have or whether it's enough, that conversation is with getting a clear picture of where you stand. Go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Will help you take a look at your full financial picture and figure out the next right move. If it did not cost you anything, it does not cost you anything to start that conversation. And when the time is right, we will introduce you to an insurance agent that can help you. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the tax refund credits the tax refund credit strategy most financial advisors never talk about, and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.